Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the squat series. We're going to start with the initial basic air squat. We're going to go into the back squat, front squat, and then the more advanced overhead squat. Learning that basic squat movement is going to incorporate into many of the movements that we program here at Hunt Fight Build. So let's get started.
Hunt, fight, build. Alright, quick tip. In order to determine your hip width, just jump a couple of times like a jumping rope. Your feet will naturally land, and then all you do is step out a little bit. Hip width, shoulder width. Now that your feet are at shoulder width, the air squat begins with the chest nice and high. Hips actually push back. The squat initiates from the hips, going back and down. The crease of the hip should be below the top of the knee. Nothing lower is required. Come back up, keeping the chest nice and high.
Shut up and sit down.
One of the most important things to know before you get into the back squat is how to set up your J-cups and the elevation of where your bar should be set up. You don't want it too low so that you're squatting it when you're trying to get it off the rack. And you don't want it too high to where you're actually tippy-toeing to try to put it back on the rack. So the way you determine this is you basically want to have the bottom of the J-cup aligned to where your armpit is. So as you can see, this one is a little too low for me. There's a J-cup, there's my armpit, right where I can stick my finger in. We'll set up the other one the same way. All right, so now when you get under that bar, you want to make sure you get directly underneath it. When you stand up, you're not completely squatting it, right? But you're also lifting it far enough so that it clears that J-cup.
You want to ensure that you're centered on your bar. A good way to determine that you are properly centered is by gripping the bar, extending your thumb to the end of the knurling, and then just grip the bar where your hand sits. You want to do this on both sides evenly. Once you're centered, make sure you get all the way underneath the bar. Stand straight up, clear the J-cups, take a nice big step back, get into that shoulder width stance, toes slightly pointed outward, and initiate by going hips back, knees tracking over the toes, keeping the chest nice and high, head neutral. Remember, you only need to reach the depth where the crease of the hip goes below the top of the knee. Once you center yourself, bring the bar as close as possible to your neck, right above your clavicle. Loosen the grip of your hands so it allows you to rotate your elbows forward, getting those triceps parallel to the ground, with your body bearing the full weight of the bar in that front rack position. With your body completely underneath the bar and keeping those elbows nice and high, stand straight up. Take a step back, get into that shoulder width stance, toes slightly pointed outward. Initiate by going hips back, knees tracking over the toes, keeping the elbows high so you can maintain that upright chest position. Once you're centered, you're going to initiate it as if you were doing a back squat. You're going to stand straight up, take a step back. You're going to need a wide grip on this, using that last ring on the bar as a reference. Grip the bar. And then you're going to dip drive and do a push press from behind the neck. Activating the shoulders as if you were trying to squeeze your ears between those shoulders. Armpits facing forward, elbows will lock out and face the ground, and your wrist will flex back, creating a flat surface for the bar to sit on. You're gonna get into that shoulder width stance, hips back, knees tracking over the toes, maintaining that bar high over your head, down the center of your body. Keeping the head neutral, ensuring you maintain that chest in an upright position. Ensure you bring the bar back down to that full back rack position before re-racking it.
Hey guys, today's video basically showed all 4 movements. The basic air squat, back squat, front squat, and overhead squat. The reason we made it that way is so that you can see the progression of difficulty when it comes to the different types of squats. Make sure that you learn these movements in the proper progression. If you're not able to do a proper air squat, don't move on to the back squat. Front squat, and definitely don't move over to the overhead squat. Make sure that you have proper movement and mechanics before you move the progression up in difficulty.